Lieutenant Coromato in studio right now. That's kind of what we want to talk about here this morning. Is Tiger. You saw the story, right?
Yes.
And of course, we came out yesterday and we're like, come on. At 3 o'clock in the morning, you're sleeping at your car. You just came from your restaurant. Don't tell me you're not drinking. Turns out, though, he was not drinking.
Yeah, from the reports, looks like he blew a 0 at the roadside test. So
that's so disappointing. It's kind of about his golf game these days, isn't it? So, all right, and we were so now we're finding out that it was a reaction to prescription, or at least to meds.
Correct.
And we know he has a back issue.
Correct.
And in my 9-hour stint yesterday of a defensive driving course, I discovered that alcohol, prescription medicine, any of this stuff, a lot has to do with your size, what you have in your stomach. Have you eaten?
Correct.
Are you tired? Are you stressed, right? I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into play here.
There are a ton of factors that come into play when it comes to, alcohol or medication consumption.
And do you think that we look at it differently now? Like, let's say Tiger, we know he has a back issue, and we know how painful back problems can be. Maybe he takes the pill, and he's tired. He's driving home. If that's the case, will we look at it differently? I mean, he didn't kill anybody. He's sleeping on the side of the street, however.
I think we all have to look at all these cases differently and independently, because there are circumstances that can happen where somebody just makes mistakes, and that's what it looks like at this point has happened, where he didn't realize what would be the repercussions of taking the pill or pills at that time.
And I don't want to be saying that everybody feels this way, but have you ever had alcohol and the same amount that you might have had another time, but this time, for some reason, it had a really bad effect on you? I mean, I think everybody had. You don't drink to get sloshed, right?
I think that happens to everybody that enjoys a beverage here.
And that could be, again, conditions, what you ate, how tired you are, how you're feeling. Andrew.
Correct. So there's the warning labels on any prescription that says do not operate a vehicle or any heavy equipment on this prescription. But does that then translate to negligence or irresponsibility on the part of the person who took it if they indeed get in the car and drive?
Well, sure. The person that gets behind the wheel is ultimately responsible regardless. I mean, they're the ones making the decision, so they have to abide by what rules are put in place to keep people safe on the road.
Either way, he's going to be responsible. I mean, he's been ticketed.
It sounds like he's taking responsibility also.
It does seem that way. And the other issue here, though, is I do think, though, that not only we as a public, but a court might look at it differently. If somebody took a medicine that they have been prescribed and they just didn't think, they made a mistake, I think the court might look upon that as a little different.
Sure. Just because somebody might make a mistake or wrong doesn't mean they need to feel the full wrath of justice. I mean, obviously people deserve breaks, and those are definitely acceptable.
Even if you're Tiger Woods, who's destroying our Sundays, by the way.
Can I ask you about, and I know it might be different in Florida, but what the procedure is when you pull over someone you believe might be under drunk, under the influence of some kind of drug. Obviously, you can do a breathalyzer. I'll kind of let you explain this, but at some point, can you request a urine sample, a blood sample? Does that violate somebody's rights? Because they're saying obviously he had the 0.00. I'm just wondering if at what point you can check someone's blood to see actually what is in their body and what the procedure is. So let's say someone's pulled over. Where can you go from there if you think they're drunk or under some influence?
All right. So obviously we're talking about intoxication of some sort here, but when it comes to alcohol, the roadside tests are different compared to when we think it's drug related. So obviously alcohol, you got your staple roadside tests, your walk and turns, your finger to nose, things like that. They get the eye test. I can't say the word right now, but there's an eye test that actually I'm not certified in, but that is used nowadays. Also, there's the roadside Alka sensor test. Once a determination is made that somebody has exceeded the limit of alcohol consumption while driving a vehicle, they're obviously arrested and brought to the police station, where their rights are now read to them. They are questioned regarding what happened that night, where they were, how much they drank, things like that. then they submit to it's at their,
You can deny. You
can deny. You can deny
there,
all of this.
There's some attorneys that say, do not blow, do not give the right, do
People
not.
have the right to deny.
Don't roll your window down. I mean, there's some crazy advice out there.
People have rights, but people do submit to the breathalyzer test, and that gives us a reading of, what their alcohol consumption was at night and what it is in their blood.
If someone refuses, though, legally, isn't that viewed as a...
You want to test me? You want to test me? Because I spent 9 hours yesterday doing this. You'll receive an automatic suspension if you're over 21 of 6 months. If you're under 21, you'll get a 1-year suspension of your driver's license.
Oh, for refusing the breathalyzer?
For refusing it.
Correct. And you still can be issued if the officer's perception is or belief is that you were intoxicated. He will still write you a DWI ticket. There's a common law ticket that is in the New York State Vehicle and Traffic Law that will be issued to you.
Especially if you might smell alcohol.
Sure.
Or
all those things come. All those things come into play there, and it goes forward in the court that way. And the case could come to an end before the 1 year is up, and the court could obviously reinstate the driver's license.
All right, Lieutenant, we appreciate it.
I'm sorry, one more thing. What about the drugs, though?
So
what's different in your...
Okay, so with the drugs, there are officers who are specially trained in drug recognition. So if an officer stops somebody and they think that it's not alcohol, it might be drugs, that these officers will be called out, and they go through an intense school that's given by the Department of Justice, New York State Department of Justice, and they have to keep their certification up throughout the year by doing so many of these tests. They are speckled throughout the county in the different departments. So if one of us is not working, we can go to Oneida County, call them, see if one of their guys is working. Vice versa with the state police. So
but there's no test that says if you blow into this, we know you smoked marijuana or you took codeine or something.
Not yet.
Like that.
It'll be
not yet.
That might be coming.
As far as urine and blood samples, that all is kind of contingent on what the situation is, if people consent, whether you can get a search warrant or not if there's a major accident.
And the other issue is when you're you have the bus driver situation that happened here locally, and that person's attorney is out saying you're going to find that this bus driver is not guilty. This was a mistake. This and fatigue does play a big role. You might think someone's drunk or on drugs when it was only fatigue. I mean, they say fatigue can be a real problem, especially for truck drivers.
Yeah. Also, diabetes is also another something that can affect and show the signs of if they're having an attack. Can show the signs of intoxication.
That slight stroke. All these different things can play a role. So, all right, very interesting, Lieutenant. We appreciate the update.
No problem.
You're very dapper today. You look good.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
The rest of us are dressed. We're slumming down today. You're making us look bad. All right, got a break.